talked about going back full-time. Man, I was on the phone with Richard. I'm like, what? When am I going to know about this? Because we got a lot of work to do if we're going to try and get that done. He said we'd have at least 6 weeks notice. So wow. If we're going to have 6 weeks, we're looking already past Christmas, and then the flu season's going to hit. And anyways, just putting that out there. Don't panic when they say that. So standard work hours for all drivers and paras are Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., 2 to 5. Most routes won't use all that time, and we understand that. Most routes won't run on Wednesdays. Despite this, all drivers and paras should be aware. That's what I get for trying to look down instead of. These are the standard hours, and to be prepared to perform additional duties within these hours if necessary. Failure to perform assigned duties will result in administrative action. It can be write-ups, unpaid absences, sick time, and even termination. So just keep in mind, we're paying you for 6 hours a day, and we have tested a lot of you. We have pushed you to that max. If you're going over that 6 hours, we're going to pay you. I promise. We're going to turn in the extra time sheets, and we'll take care of you. But you're contracted with us for 6 hours a day. Okay? We're trying to be considerate of everybody. But
can I just make a comment for some people to remember that you are getting paid 3 hours morning and afternoon, so you don't need to be speeding and flying and rush, because we're about safety.
That's right.
And it's better to be running late than it is to be early. And there's no reason we have to all be speeding through school parking lots or anything else because you're getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. Till 5 o'clock. Anyway. All drivers must perform a fluid check once a week. This will usually happen on Wednesdays. Yesterday was a prime example. Mays did not have school, so Mays drivers that specifically tailored to Mays did not have to come yesterday. If you did, kudos, your check is done. If you did not, they are requiring us to do the fluid checks every week. So just anytime in the next couple of days, if you can get that done and turn it in, that'd be great. On Wednesdays, this is how you're getting paid. Keep in mind, we are the only employees in the entire district getting paid for time that we're not using. They are paying you whatever time that your, I don't want to say contracts because they're not contracts, your work agreement, whatever your work agreement says, whether it's 6 hours or 8 hours or 4 hours, we are the only employees in the entire district that's getting paid that on Wednesdays when we don't have to be here. Okay? Some of us do. Drivers that drive our sped routes, some drivers, bless their hearts, that are running our VOTEC routes, they do have to work Wednesdays. They don't have to, but they're choosing to, and they're not complaining a bit. And I kudos to you guys because you've made my life so much easier. So please keep that in mind, that you guys are getting a huge perk that nobody else in the district's getting, because they understand how important it is to keep you guys happy. Okay? And they are trying. Routes are assigned by the management. We strive for consistency. We really do try, but all must be prepared for. Everybody should be prepared for significant and frequent changes due to dramatic variations in enrollment and needs. They talked about some of the kids coming back into the system. They expected about 25% to be online. We're down to about 9%. We are way under online than what we thought we were going to be.
Why don't we have more students?
I don't know. Tier 1 is because they're only putting half of the high schoolers in at a time. That's because of them, not us. But we keep you with 3 kids on your bus because I want you to have a paycheck. So we put you out with 3 kids so that you have a check.
No, but you're talking about the subs too, but according to my stops, I would say over 90% the stops are invalid.
Nobody getting on and off. Keep in mind, a lot of them drive, or their siblings drive, or during the pandemic, they may be getting brought to school.
But they will ask for a sub because you'll stop at every one of them.
Yeah, that's okay. We're getting paid for it. So, yeah, we're good. We don't mind. As long as you have good maps, I won't complain. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, don't cancel stops yet. All route drivers must keep both sets of maps and books updated. We've already talked about that. All route drivers must have and enforce a seating chart. We've already talked about that. This also includes VOTEC, if you're driving VOTEC routes, and shuttles. Thank you. So those of you that are running shuttles, you don't know who they are because you only see them this long every day. Give them a sticky note. Put it above their seat. When they get off, go through the bus and write down where they were all sitting and use that. At least we have something to go by, okay? And tell them they have to sit in the same seat every time they get on the bus.
Usually do it.
They usually do, yeah, they're getting used to it. Pre-trip inspections, that's a law, you have to. That does include your air brake test. If it's been so long you don't remember how to do it, please see one of us or one of our trainers. We would be happy to show you how to do that. And then all drivers and parents must display professionalism at all times. That includes interactions with your kids. Do we get frustrated with them? Yes. Do we need to be yelling at them on the bus? No. No. Make sure that we're professional with the parents. Probably one of the harder ones is to be professional with them. Keep in mind that you are the professional. And then also with staff. Please don't yell at each other. I know we're all frustrated, but don't yell at each other. Don't yell at me. I'm really trying. It's just easier if we can all keep a calm. If we have a problem with a route, and you have a problem with the route, instead of blowing up at me, I'm I will change it much quicker and without grinding my teeth if you talk to me as a person instead of screaming at me because you're mad about it. Do I make mistakes? Heck, yes I do. And I am happy to fix them, but talk to me like a person, don't yell at me like the kids. All right, Kim, any questions on that before I move on? That was a lot. Okay, reminders from Kim. Please put your name on your time cards. You wouldn't believe how many time cards we get without a name. If they come in without a name, we put Kim's name on them and she gets your check. Please put your name on the time cards. She will not guess who they belong to. On the back side of your time cards, sped buses, that's where you write your mileage. We need that mileage for audits and reports. That's how we get our funding from the state. She doesn't need anything other than your name and the ending week written on the front. Yes, you still need to put it, how many students you carry on for both tiers. Other than that, I don't want anything written on it. You can write all over the back. We still get grocery lists on the time cards. You don't get those back. So don't write your grocery lists on the front. Put them on the back. She doesn't care. Turn your cards in on Friday night if at all possible. By Monday at the absolute latest of the following week. They end payroll on every other week on Friday. Twice a month on Fridays. And if you don't have it in on Friday, it makes it really hard to get payroll done when we're trying to catch up with folks. If you cannot make it for the safety meeting, you have 1 week to view the meeting. We put them all on YouTube now, and I can give you guys the link. If you can't make it to the meeting, by the way, you do have to sign that sheet. Remember I told you that's how we get paid? That's also how we make sure that you've been here. We won't hold it any longer than 7 days. By not coming to the meeting or watching the video, it does count against your perfect attendance bonus. So if you want that extra $50, you got to make sure you're signing off on that sheet.
What meeting is that?
This one, the safety meeting. Who's our recent? Sean recently got his CDL certification. He's completely licensed. So we need a sub. Congratulations, Sean. Anybody else I'm missing?
Nope. Dewey's still.
Yep, Dewey's in the process, so he'll be probably at the next meeting getting something.
When do we get our $50 bonus?
You're supposed to get, you know what, that's a great question, I don't know the answer. Do they get that at the end of the month? Okay, end of the month. We talked about them doing the bonus at the end of the year. That's probably gonna have to be a next year thing because there was so much going on this year. We didn't have time to get it before the board. So we'll do the $50 bonus, but it'll be on your monthly checks, so. Any other questions so far from Kim? All right. Evacuation drills. You guys, everybody in your box has a bus evacuation drill scheduled for next week. This is in your box. And let's talk a little bit of how those work, because we have some new folks, so let's help them get through that. What does the bus evacuation drill look like? What's the procedure for an evacuation drill? You pull up, what's the first thing we're going to do? Huh? Secure the bus? Is that what I heard? Yep. Neutral, parking brake, turn the engine off. Should you have, if you haven't already talked to your kids, you need to talk to your kids and tell them what you're doing. A good way I talk to my kids when I have them on the bus is, do you guys do evacuation drills in the bus or in the schools? Yep. Does it mean that the school's on fire? No. Why do we do them? Just in case we have a fire, right? Yep. We have to do the exact same thing on the school bus. So we're gonna do an evacuation drill today, so you know what to do if it ever does happen. Everybody understand? Yep. And then you tell them exactly what to do, okay? We only use front doors here at Maze. We only evacuate out the front door. So how do we evacuate a bus? Front to back, back to front, how do we do it? Front to back, some do it back to front. I was always trained you go from the opposite end of your unloading, because if you have an engine fire and you're going out the back, you want your front kids gone first. If you have an issue at the back and need to go out the front, you start at the back. However you do it, I don't care. Just keep in mind, if you have an engine fire, get the front ones out first. Don't go from the back.
Yeah, the little kids go first so the bigger kids can help.
Yeah. You should have at least one of your older kids wherever your rendezvous point is, so that everybody knows where to go. So you should have 1 or 2 kids assigned on your bus as your helpers, and they go somewhere and they stand and everybody goes to them, okay? Typically, we will unload at a school. You'll just pull up along the curb. Everybody is on the curb. It's not like in the afternoons where you go 2 wide or 3 wide. Everybody's on the curb. If the curb's full, you wait until they're gone and then you move in, okay? We do not want to get somebody run over for these.
Are you timing it?
Typically, we have you time it. If I'm there, I try and time it, but when there's 3 or 4 of you unloading, it's a little harder. So if you can time it, just a rough estimate. Our goal is to try and get your bus completely unloaded in less than a minute. A bus will catch fire. From the second it sparks, it can burn to the ground in less than a minute. So we want to try and get that under a minute, the best we can. The most important thing is you're teaching your kids what this looks like in case it ever happens to your bus. Okay? Anybody have questions on how the evacuation drill works? Yes?
My Monday tier 1 kids are not going to do this?
Your Monday tier.
Yeah.
Right, you're going to have one of your tier 1s that are not going to be doing it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we do not want to do it. We'll catch them in the second one that we do in the fall, or in the spring, yeah.
I just want to let you know, at Frank Woodman, every year, we do a training session with the kids actually coming out the back door. We do bus safety, it's just through that school. I think some of the other schools are adapting to that. When we talk about bus safety, just a quick, short little spiel. And we teach them how to go out the back door. And I'm going to tell you, they go out the back door faster than they can go out the front.
Yeah.
But it's very important that it's sit and scoot. You make them sit all the way down on the floor and use their hands to push off.
Yeah.
Unless you have some 5th graders, which I assign to help them off the bus.
Right.
They need help.
I would like to eventually get to the point where we do one in the front door and one in the back door. We've never done it that way. I know I'm going to have headbutts from that. But it's really important that they know how to go out that back door, because the first time that it happens and they have never been told what to do, they're going to jump out that door.
Yeah, I always go over it with my kids when we have the evacuation, but I think it's still just talking to them about it and not showing them what to do.
Yeah.
Is, yeah.
And it's a huge drop, but if you've got an older kid standing there, they're there to help them so they're not just falling out of the back of the bus.
Kathy, a couple pointers that I tell my kids is they can't have nothing in their hands.
Right.
I always tell them if it's not on your backpack, just leave it on the bus. I said because in a rural situation, that's just material things. Another thing I do, which it takes a little bit more time, but this is the way I was trained, is after all the kids get off, I walk the bus back to make sure there is nobody else on before I get
Yep,
off.
That's right.
that's correct.
You have to do that.
Any other questions?
Grab your book.
Your red book off the bus, that's a great idea. First aid and bodily fluids are supposed to come off the bus with you. And that's something you can just hand to a kid. Here, you're in charge of this. And even your book. Make sure you're counting your kids, because we have to have a head count. And we're going to go over that form here in just a minute. Any other questions on the process of the evacuation drill? Especially our seniors that might have some guidance or advice for our younger or newbies, greenhorns.
All that information printed and stuck in there somewhere?
Yep, you'll see it right here. So this is what the schedule looks like. And what I do is I just find my bus number, and I just went with 3 because that's the first one on there. And I just circle it. So I know if I'm at May South, I'm doing my May South kids, I'm number 3, so I'm going to the South Elementary School to unload. And then on the Tuesday the 20th as well for Tier 2, I'm going to the bus lane at Mays Middle. And if you're not sure where exactly you're supposed to go, ask one of us, or ask one of the other drivers. Ask a senior driver, don't ask somebody that's new. Ask somebody that's been around a while, okay? Please let us know, because we want to make you successful doing this, and we'd rather to help you than have somebody holler at you on the radio, what are you doing? Okay? All right, so this is the form that you'll use. This is what we need filled out from you, and these are things that you'll need to do, and I just filled it out for me as if I was driving 3. Obviously, your name goes in there. Please print, because I can't read everybody's cursive. Put in the date that you're doing the drill. And on this one, it happened to be on the 20th. How many kids were on my bus? Exit used, everybody will be your front door for now. I ignore this number of students. I had too much coffee this morning, so just ignore that extra one. Grades, are you running tier 1 or tier 2? In one of these situations, I was running tier 2, so I chose K through 5. And then, yeah, ignore that one. Make sure you sign down here, and then one of us in the office will sign down here. If you have any remarks or comments or questions,
Where'd you put your time?
I was just gonna say, the numbers,
It's not-
the second one, we can put the time.
I'm sorry, yeah, this should have been time.